Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Quicken Loans Arena invites you to experience a new way to buy tickets to all events at the Q, including Bruce Springsteen, Miley Cyrus, Star Wars in concert, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the Cavaliers, Monsters, and more.
Welcome to another episode of Cavs Behind the Scenes, and I'm with Scott Zarilla, who is the producer of the Cavaliers Radio Network, and we're here inside studio control, inside the Q, and it may not look like it, but we're only, what do you think, Scott, about 15 feet or so from the Cavs locker room here?
About that, not much more, which is great. It gets the players nice and close and gets them in here, absolutely.
And you spend countless hours in here during the season. The pregame show and postgame show are produced from in here. And if anybody ever listens to Joe Tate on the Cavaliers Radio Network when he's referring to spinning the dials, these are the dials that are being spun. So you spend a lot of time in here over the course of the season.
I was just talking to my guy who does the same job in Orlando, and we were talking about just how many hours we put in. And for the most part, home games are at least 12-hour days, and road games are about 10. I don't have to do quite as much, but yeah, it's the season gets rolling in October, and I tell people that I give them a pocket schedule, and I say, this is my schedule, so I'm going to miss holidays. I'll work Christmas this year, of course, as will you, but it's just I spend 8 months out of the year pretty much, as we see, no windows, no real contact with outside life.
And the thing about it is you basically watch all the games from back in here. Even though you're only 100 or so feet from center court here, you basically have to watch most of the games on television like everybody else.
This will be my 16th season, and I've never watched a Cavaliers game here. I've gone out for different reasons, looking for guests, family, and friends. I've watched bits and pieces. I've never watched a Cavaliers game in Gund Arena or Quicken Loans Arena.
So the way it works is Mike Snyder, who is the the pre- and post-game show host, he will be in here and record his shows, and you'll produce them, and you'll coordinate everything in here, and sort of give us what else are you guys doing during the game other than flipping the dials?
Well, for the most part, what we do is everything originates from here. So everything our listeners hear comes from the inside the studio control. Interviews and commercials and music beds, whatever you hear comes from us, which, interestingly, we're only one of 3 teams in the NBA that does that. So it makes it really easy for us. But I'm listening to the game and cutting highlights throughout, which we will use at halftime, the post-game show, and then we'll use it in the pregame show next time. In the pregame show the next game. I'll see you in the locker room, so we'll get locker room tape. I'm just always really working ahead. Pregame, I'm working for halftime, for the postgame, for the next game, and just always working on commercials and anything, again, that you hear starts from here, and I've got to make sure that it's there.
And one of the things that the fans don't get to hear is the challenges that Joe Tate that gives you, especially some of the best stuff that Joe says, which happens during the commercial breaks. What's it been like to work with Joe Tate all these years?
I've listened to Joe since I was a little kid. Many kids, they talk about listening to the transistor for listening to baseball games. Well, I would fall asleep listening to Joe Tate with my little radio next to the bed, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night after I fell asleep, and I'd hear him closing off broadcasts. When I first met him, I was just horrified and so nervous, and it took me so long to get to the point where he's just a regular guy, which he'll talk to anybody, but to kind of direct him and say, hey, I need you to do this again or don't do that, it took a while to get used to. I mean, this is Joe Tate, and he doesn't want to believe it, but Joe Tate's up here. And he doesn't want to hear that, but he is. And it's just been a real treat. And to be able to say that I've worked with Joe Tate is just what a thrill. I mean, it really is. I'm not a great broadcaster, but I'm far better than what I was before I met him, no doubt.
Well, Scott, thanks a lot for letting us back in here in studio control. And now all you fans will realize what's actually going on here behind the scenes when you listen to the Cavs on the radio.
I still have no idea why you would want any of this on the internet.
Because of your big fans, all your fans.
Rather put up pictures of cars and try to sell them. I guess they do that too.